Out in California, the constant threat of wildfires has sparked a crisis that goes way, way beyond just the flames. We're talking about something that's not just changing how homes are insured, but how they're literally designed and built from the ground up. So let's dive into how this disaster is actually forcing a revolution in home construction.
Okay, so it all starts with a number that is it's hard to even wrap your head around. $40 billion. That was the final bill for insured losses from the recent Palisades and Eaton fires. That one-two punch made them the costliest wildfires in global history. I mean, this wasn't just another bad fire season. This completely shattered all the records.
And that's just the money. Behind that number is a human one. In less than a single week, over 12,000 structures were just wiped off the map. Homes, businesses, entire livelihoods gone in a flash. You have countless families displaced and whole communities just completely shattered.
But the crisis didn't end when the smoke cleared. Not even close. A second disaster, a sort of aftershock, began to unfold. And this is one that affects almost every homeowner in a fire-prone area. The total collapse of the insurance market.
And that really is the crucial question, isn't it? For thousands and thousands of homeowners, the disaster wasn't over. As insurance companies looked at these massive losses, they just started running for the exits, fleeing the state. And that created this nightmare scenario of financial instability for residents just trying to protect their homes.
And look, this isn't some abstract idea. These are the real numbers on the ground. In high-risk areas like Pacific Palisades, more than 10% of homeowners got that dreaded non-renewal letter between 2020 and 2022. Over in Altadena, it was more than 8%. All of a sudden, just owning a home became this massive, uninsurable risk.
So what happens when you get dropped? Well, for a lot of people, the only place to turn is the state's FAIR plan. But honestly, calling it a solution is a bit of a stretch. It's the insurer of last resort for a very good reason. It is incredibly expensive, and the coverage you get is, well, it's minimal. It is the safety net that absolutely nobody wants to have to use.
Okay, so all of this whole crisis, it's forcing a really fundamental change. The old way of building homes in these areas, it's just not working anymore. It is time to completely rethink the blueprint, to move from just trying to defend a home to building in resilience from the very start. And when you look at it, the contrast couldn't be more clear. On one side, you've got the standard traditional wood frame house, vulnerable, high risk, and, as we're seeing, increasingly uninsurable. And on the other side, you have this new approach, building with fire-resistant materials to create a home that's proactive, resilient, and, this is the key, insurable.
I mean, the insurers are basically drawing a line in the sand. This quote says it all. That decades-old standard of building with wood is now officially considered an unacceptable risk. This isn't just a friendly suggestion. This is the new market reality. So, that begs the obvious question, right? If wood is out, then what's in? Well, the answer lies in this new generation of building technologies and materials that are designed specifically for the world we live in now, for the challenges of our changing climate.
And the answer isn't just one magic bullet. It's really a whole strategy broken down into three key parts. It all starts with advanced, non-combustible materials. Then it continues with an integrated design that minimizes risks, like stopping embers from getting into vents. And it all finishes with smart landscaping that creates a protective buffer around the home.
To really get why this is so important, you have to understand something called the domino effect. See, wood catches fire at a pretty low temperature, only about 600 degrees Fahrenheit. So once one house goes up in flames, it generates enough heat to ignite the next one, and then the next one, and that is exactly how entire neighborhoods are lost in these massive wildfires.
So this new technology tackles that problem head-on. It completely replaces wood framing with things like advanced composites and cement-based materials. But here's the kicker. These homes don't just solve for fire. They're also built to net zero energy standards, and they can withstand high winds, floods, and even earthquakes. It's a total solution for climate resilience.
Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks. What does this actually mean for you, the homeowner? Well, beyond the obvious safety benefits, there are huge, tangible financial payoffs. This isn't just about surviving a fire, it's about thriving financially.
First, and this is a big one, let's talk insurance. Building with these fire-resistant methods can slash your annual premiums by 15 to 30%. In some of these high-value areas, we're talking about thousands of dollars in savings every single year. All right, next step, And honestly, this one is a total game changer. Your utility bills. Because these homes are built to super efficient passive house and net zero standards, often with solar integrated, your monthly cost for utilities can actually go down to zero. Imagine that. No heating bills, no cooling bills. That's money back in your pocket from day one.
And last but not least, let's talk about the value of your home itself. In a market where buyers are getting more and more worried about safety and insurance costs, these fire-resistant homes can sell for 10 to 15% more than their old-school wood-frame neighbors.
So, all this really brings us to one last pretty powerful question. For generations, we've defined a home as a place of shelter, of security. But as our climate gets more extreme, does that very definition have to evolve too? The answer that's emerging from the ashes in California seems to be a resounding yes.